Shalom Care, grooming essentials for the modern man of color. Shalom Care, grooming essentials for the modern man of color. Paraben-free, peace with care. For beard mousse, armpit mousse, or jock mousse, visit shalomcare4u2u.com. Shalom Care.
Brand disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this platform by individuals, callers, or invited guests are their own. The information you hear does not reflect the overall views of all parties associated with the brand. We encourage everyone to research all things heard live or via archive for edification purposes. Discretion is advised.
Help keep the show on the air. If you want to help, you can send me a donation through PayPal. The email is debatetalkforyou@gmail.com or through Cash App, $Sal Showtime. Thanks for your support.
Shalom, shalom, Shabbat shalom. You're now tuning in to Debate Talk for You Radio. I am Gabbar Alaha, and this is the Sabbath Meal, episode 20. Today, we're going to be talking about rebuilding of the third temple in Jerusalem. Before I get started, I just want to give all praises to the Most High Yahweh and the authority of his only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, who was commonly called Jesus Christ, and to everyone tuning in now, whether it's live or on the playback. May Yahweh keep you and watch over you always. Just want to give a special shout out to Sal Showtime for once again allowing us to be able to come on here and to use his platform to be able to disseminate this information to you guys. So be sure you guys donate to the platform. You guys see the information scrolling down at the bottom. And make sure you check out all the other content as well as all the other co-hosts. Want to give a special shout out to them as well. Hope everybody is enjoying their Sabbath if you are keeping it today. So once again, Sabbath Meal, episode 20, getting into the rebuilding of Jerusalem. Just want to deal with this topic because, you know, I've been following this actually for quite some time now. And some people may not be aware of what's going on when we're dealing with current events. Okay. So I just want to deal with this so that way some awareness can be brought forth to it in the event that people don't know. You know, a lot of people probably already do know, but in the event that people don't know exactly what's going on concerning this topic, I just want to be able to have the information put here on Debate Talk for You. Okay. And I'm actually going to be sharing the link. This is actually going to be a pretty open discussion. So I'm actually going to be sharing the link fairly early. So that way you guys can come in and we can just have a discussion about it. You know, and then we can just dialogue about what's going on. Okay. So I'm actually going to put the link in the chat momentarily. You guys just give me a second. Let me just go ahead and present a couple of things. I got a couple of articles I'm gonna read to you guys. Then from there, if you guys want to come on and talk about it, we can discuss it, share whatever info you may have on it, you know, how they relate to the scriptures and the times that we're in and so on and so on. All right, just want to give a special shout out to Byron Reeves. Shalom, shalom, man. Thank you for tuning in and Shabbat Shalom. All right, so now rebuilding the third temple in Jerusalem. Okay, so let's start here. Let me pull this up. I'm gonna share my screen real quick, you guys. All right, so now this is an article from Al Jazeera. I just want to say Shabbat Shalom to Michael Paul. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. All right, so this is an article from Al Jazeera. Make it bigger for you guys. And then what I'm going to do, let me turn around over here so I can read it because I got to pull up two screens. All right, so it's titled "The Hardline Israelis Stoking Violence in East Jerusalem." All right, so this was done on May 20. Let me look at that date real quick. May 23rd. Okay, so this article was posted May 23rd. Okay, on Al Jazeera website. The hardline Israelis stoking violence in East Jerusalem. Okay, let me make it bigger for you guys so you guys can see. Give me a second. To make it bigger for you guys, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it while I'm doing the screen share. So hopefully you guys can see it. Okay. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and read it. All right. So it says a surreal and almost uh bucolic atmosphere encompass the occupied East Jerusalem suburb of uh Shekai Jarrah on a recent morning as an Israeli settler and a Palestinian sat on armchairs under an old fig tree surrounded by picturesque stone houses discussing the ongoing violence in the presence of an Israeli TV crew. For several weeks, Shekai Jarrah neighborhood was a pivotal point in an ongoing battle in which dozens of Palestinian families are fighting to remain in the homes they lived for generations as they faced possible forced expulsion by Israeli authorities to make way for Israel settlers, a move illegal under international law. Okay. So for those of you who don't know, a few months back, it's been about 2 months now. There was a conflict that was going on over there in the land of Israel. You know, rockets were being fired and things like that. Okay, so we're gonna get the backdrop as to why all this has been going on. Okay, because some people may not know why this is happening. Okay, but like I said, I've been following this for some years now. So when I saw this event take place a couple months ago, I'm like, oh, I know what's happening. Okay, I know what this is about. Okay, and the article is actually going to explain it as well. So I'm going to continue on. All right, so scroll down here. So it says on an almost a nightly basis, the families and hundreds of their supporters came out to protest, facing off with Israeli security forces, leading to the assault and arrest of dozens of Palestinians, as well as the destruction of both Palestinian and settler property. The debate between the Palestinian and the Israeli settler outside the home Al, of the Al Kurd family, one of the families threatened with expulsion, was civil as they answered questions from the TV crew between sips of coffee. All right, let me move this mic a little closer. All right. Right, it reads on. It says, however, the gaping chasm between the lives of Palestinians on the ground and the ideology of the settler movement was glaringly obvious. There was peace here for a long time until troublemakers from the Israeli Arab cities came here. Israeli settler Eric, who lives in the illegal settlement of Gabbar Ziev and studies at nearby Simon Zadok Yeshiva in Shekai Jarrah, but who was afraid to give his full name, told Al Jazeera. I have Palestinians from the West Bank working for me, and we got on fine before Palestinians started attacking Jews here. When asked about the repeated raids on Al Aqsa Mosque by Israeli security forces, Eric said he did not believe that Palestinian fears over the possible division of the Al Aqsa Mosque was grounded in reality. The two sides will be kept apart because the government knows that if they share places of worship, there will always be confrontation, he said. Okay, so for those who don't know what the Al Aqsa Mosque is, that's where the Dome of the Rock is. Okay, over there in Jerusalem. The Al Aqsa Mosque is where the Dome of the Rock is. Okay, and what's been happening is for a while, uh, the Jews they want they want that portion of the land, and it has to do with the rebuilding of the third temple. Okay, so the Arabs that are in the land, they've been concerned for a long time because they're like, are they going to get rid of our third most holy site? Are they going to come in and try to get rid of this? Okay, so this is why there's a huge conflict that's going on with this. Okay, let me read on. Let me actually skip down a little bit. So here we go. The third Jewish temple. So this is included in the same article, the third Jewish temple. It says there are several Israeli settler movements involved in pushing for Jewish worshippers to be allowed to pray at Al Aqsa, uh, reinforcing Palestinian fears that Islam's third holiest site could follow the route of the like Ibrahimi Mosque in Hebron in the southwestern West Bank. Following the 1994 massacre of dozens of Palestinians after an Israeli settler opened fire as they worshipped, the like Ibrahimi Mosque was divided into days, allowing Jewish prayer and and days allowing Muslim prayer, as streets in the old city were restricted for Palestinian families and businesses reserved for settlers. One of the most hardline settler movements is the Temple Mount and Land of Israel Faithful Movement, an Orthodox Jewish group. Its goal is to rebuild the third Jewish temple on the grounds of Al of Al Aqsa Mosque and reinstate the practice of ritual sacrifice according to their website. Okay, so I'm gonna pause there for a second because I actually have their website pulled up. Okay, so this is their website here. So they are known as the templeinstitute.org. Templeinstitute.org. Okay, and it reads: the Temple Institute is dedicated to every aspect of the Holy Temple of Jerusalem and the central role it fulfilled and will once again fulfill in the spiritual well being of both Israel and all the nations of the world. The Institute's work touches upon the history of the Holy Temple's past, an understanding of the present day, and divine promise of Israel's future. The Institute's activities include education, research, and development. The Temple Institute's ultimate goal is to see Israel rebuild the Holy Temple on Mount Moriah in Jerusalem in accord with the biblical commandments. It is of primary importance to educate about the great significance of the Holy Temple and Mount Moriah, the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, the only site in the world that is considered holy by the Jewish people, and the only site in the world which God chose to rest his presence through the establishment of the Holy Temple. Okay, so you see here that there is actually an organization that is pushing the narrative and wanting to actually restore the third temple. Okay, they actually want to build it where this mosque is at. They want to put it right there. Okay, and so it's the reason why a lot of conflict has been going on. And again, this is nothing new. It's been going on for a while. Okay, I know we've been seeing the recent event that has happened in over in Jerusalem and how there's explosion. You've even heard about some of our own brothers and sisters over there in Damona having to leave out. Okay, so all these things have been going on as of recently, but this is why. It's because of this conflict surrounding the rebuilding of the third temple in Jerusalem. Okay, so now for those who follow biblical prophecy, and at least for me, I'll say this: this rebuilding of the third temple is vital in the ushering in of the anti-Messiah. All right, and so that is like one of the key things. When you read Revelation chapter 11, it talks about how the outer court is given unto the Gentiles. Okay. And so where this mosque is at and where they want to build this third temple at, it is stated how this is where Herod's temple once was. Okay. It's not actually where Solomon's temple was, but it is where Herod's temple once was. That's what's been said. Okay. But regardless, these Jewish people, they believe that this is where the third temple is supposed to be. And you have something in the way of that third temple being built, being this is the third holiest Islamic site. Okay. There was a couple of years ago, I couldn't find the video. And even if I did find a video, I was concerned that it might that it might cause a copyright issue for Debate Talk for You. So I was afraid to find it and play it. But I'll try to go back and find it and see if I can at least post the link for you guys to watch in your own time. There was a video so I watch a lot of news outside of America. Like I'll watch RT News, Al Jazeera, Sky News. I'll try to get other news sources to get current events. So I can get a different perspective from the other side of the world of what's going on. And a few years back, when I was watching RT News, which stands for Russia Today, they were talking about how this third temple, how the plans that they have for it, and then the plans that they laid out, it was like a mock-up of the third temple sitting in place where the mosque is. The mosque is not present though. The mosque is not present there at all. But the third temple is there in its place. So it's almost like they want to go in and get rid of this mosque, okay, which is going to cause a lot of problems. Again, it's going to cause a lot of problems. All right. And we know that the scriptures talk about how there's going to be a controversy in the land. We know how the Most High is supposed to be stirring up the nations to bring them into war. Okay, much like how he did in the Valley of Jehoshaphat in the past, how that's supposed to happen again. So we know that all these things are going on. So this is why I just been following this very closely, because this is a key event that once they build this third temple, I believe that this is going to usher in the anti-Messiah. This is what I believe. Okay. This is why I'm sharing this with you guys. But you guys can just be informed about the current events that are going on. Okay. So let me go back to this article real quick and read it some more. Go back here. All right. So let's go back here. Okay. So we looked up the Temple Institute. All right, so it says right here, it says the movement was founded in 1967 by former Israeli military officer and Middle Eastern Studies lecturer Gershon Solomon. Okay, now, why is that important? Why is that year so important? Because this is the same year of the 6-Day War. That's actually documented in history that you learn in school. Okay, the year 1967. So let's go here to the 6-Day War. Okay. So it says 6-Day War, also called June War or Third Arab-Israeli War, or Naksa, brief war that took place June 5th to June 10th, 1967, and was the third of the Arab-Israeli wars. Israelis' decisive victory included the capture of Sinai Peninsula, Gaza Strip, West Bank, Old City of Jerusalem, and Golan Heights. The status of these territories subsequently became a major point of contention in the Arab-Israeli conflict. Okay, so again, 1967 is a crucial year because the same year that this movement was found to restore and rebuild the third temple was immediately following the 6-Day War. So all these historical events line up. Okay. So it's not by coincidence that all this has happened. All right. So this is why we got to be aware. I know we tend to hear over here in the Western world, those of us in America, we get so caught up in the events that go on here and things that happen here, but we need to not take our eyes and our attention off of what's going on in the other side of the world, because I believe, and I believe many others believe, that side of the world is the center of biblical prophecy. It's the center of it. Okay. And how things are going to come to pass, how we as children of Israel are going to get out of here. We got to start looking over there. We have so much focus over here that we don't realize what's going on over there. Okay. And this is what's been pushed for a very long time. And so the recent event that took place, where now there's an explosion of people having to leave the land, of those in Demona and in other places, okay, why they're being cast out. This is why. This has to do with the rebuilding of the third temple. So that way they can usher in what the Jewish people believe to be their Messiah. Okay. Um, and again, this goes all the way back as far as the 6 Day War and even beyond that. Okay. So now coming back over here to this, let me read up some more on this. Just give you guys some more history on the 6 Day War. It says background and escalation. Prior to the start of the war, attacks conducted against Israel by fledgling Palestinian guerrilla groups based in Syria, Lebanon, and Jordan had increased, leading to costly Israeli uh, reprisals. In November 1966, an Israeli strike on the village of Al Samul in the Jordanian Salakia in the Jordanian West Bank left 18 dead and 34 wounded, and during an air battle with Syria in April 1967, the Israeli Air Force shot down 6 Syrian MiG fighter jets. In addition, Soviet intelligence reports in May indicated that Israel was planning a campaign against Syria, and although inaccurate, the information further heightened tensions between Israel and its Arab neighbors. All right. So I'm not going to read any further down. You guys can go back and read it in your own time, and you can always just Google the information about the 6 Day War. There's plenty of information on it. Again, I learned about this, and I learned about the 6 Day War when I was in high school. Okay, I'm almost 20 years removed from high school. So uh, so again, you guys can look up all this in your own time. I'm gonna go back over here to this article. Um, and then I'm going to continue reading. So we stopped here with 1967. So now we're going to pick up here. It says in the 1980s, there were 2 attempts by Jewish hardliners to blow up the Islamic sites in the Al Aqsa compound. In 1990, 17 Palestinians were killed and more than 100 others wounded by Israelis paramilitary border police after riots erupted following the announcement by the Temple Mount faithful that they intended to lay a cornerstone for the 3rd Jewish temple on the grounds of the Al Aqsa compound. Following the clashes, Israeli police banned members of the movement from entering the compound. But the Israeli government, which has always supported the settler movement, has moved further right over the years. Okay. So now I'm gonna go ahead and stop there for a second. So you see, the Israeli government definitely supports the ushering in of this 3rd temple. All right. They definitely support it. Okay. So I want to share one more thing with you guys, and then I'm gonna send the link out, and then you guys can come on. We can just discuss it. Have an open discussion about it, and let's just talk about it. Okay. I want to share one more thing. Now, let me go back over here real quick. All right. So let me pull this up. All right. So why do I have this up? So now, when Donald Trump was president, certain things that he did concerning things over there in that land was actually part of the process of the ushering in of the 3rd temple. Okay. So this article is titled, "Who is King Cyrus and why did Netanyahu compare him to Trump?" Okay. So it says, let me jump down here. Let me steer it around to start. Let me start up here. It says, mysterious Persian ruler is credited for helping Jews return from exile to Jerusalem 25,000 years ago rebuild the temple. Okay. So now the comparison is being made from Trump to King Cyrus because King Cyrus was the person who played a role in how the 2nd temple was restored during the time of Ezra and Nehemiah. All right, King Cyrus gave that decree to have that temple restored. To have that temple restored. So now we're coming into this time. Donald Trump is personified by these people as King Cyrus because of something that he did to help facilitate and ushering in of this third temple. All right. So let's go down and read. It says, all right, JTA, before their Oval Office meeting on Monday, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu lavished praise on U.S. President Donald Trump for, among other things, declaring Jerusalem as Israel's capital and vowing to fix or scrap the Iran nuclear deal. In doing so, the Israeli leader likened Trump to Harry Truman, Lord Balfour, and Cyrus the Great. What gives with Cyrus? Okay. So now, once Donald Trump moved the US the embassy from Tel Aviv over into Jerusalem and declared Jerusalem as the state of Israel, or as the capital, rather. Uh, this is why Benjamin Netanyahu compared him to this, because there's also a time frame that takes place in this as well. Okay, so let's continue on. Yeah, so this is what Benjamin Netanyahu says. All right, he says, "I want to tell you that the Jewish people have a long memory. So we remember that the proclamation of the great King Cyrus the Great, the Persian king, 2,500 years ago. He proclaimed that the Jewish exiles in Babylon could come back and rebuild our temple in Jerusalem. We remember 100 years ago, Lord Balfour, who issued the Balfour Proclamation that recognized the rights of the Jewish people in our ancestral homeland. We remember 70 years ago, President Harry S. Truman was the first leader to recognize the Jewish state. And we remember how a few weeks ago, President Donald J. Trump recognized Jerusalem as Israel's capital. Mr. President, this will be remembered by our people through the ages." Okay. So you see what's happening here, right? So Netanyahu starts talking about Cyrus and the whole restoration of the second temple during that time. Then he starts talking about Lord Balfour, which is where you get the Balfour Declaration, which is how the state of Israel comes into play. And then you have President Truman 70 years ago, from when Donald Trump declared Jerusalem as the capital. 70 years ago, had President Harry S. Truman, he was the first leader to recognize the Jewish state. Okay, so 70 years later, Donald Trump recognizes Jerusalem as the capital of Israel within that Jewish state. And so the 70 years is Netanyahu is paralleling that with King Cyrus, because it was 70 years after they went into Babylon that the decree was made for the second temple to be restored. So that is why the comparison is being made, because now that Donald Trump did this, now what they're doing is now they're pushing forward with this rebuilding of the third temple, and Donald Trump coming in to declare Jerusalem as the capital plays a pivotal role in that as well. So much so that when you come down here, they actually minted coins where they got Donald Trump's face and King Cyrus's face next to it side by side. And then you see here how on the flip side of it is a picture of the third temple that they want to build. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop there. Let me get ready to send this link out for anybody who wants to come on to share any information that they may have. Go ahead and stop there, send this link out. So there you have it, guys. That is the information that I just wanted to share with you all concerning this topic. And I've been having conversations with quite a few people about this topic whenever time permits to do so. So and it's just something that we need to continue to just keep our eyes on. You know, at least I I believe so. Okay, so let me go ahead and send this link out real quick. All right, so the link is out. If you guys want to come in and join the discussion, share any information you guys may have on it, anything that you guys may want to ask questions about, you know, and we can talk about it. So the link is in the chat. So you guys can come in and discuss it. Just be sure that you guys know that Debate Talk for You does not condone any foul language, any disrespect, or any name calling. Those things will have you removed from the platform immediately. So let's keep it respectful. Let's keep it clean. This is Debate Talk for You, and this is the integrity that is maintained here. All right. So again, the link is in the chat if you guys want to come in and further discuss this. There's a lot that's going on with this. And as we kind of come down through the times and why there's been so much conflict, again, it's got to do with this ushering in of the third temple that they want to put in place where the third holiest site to the Islamic faith is at. Okay. And again, there are talks of them saying, "Oh, well, we don't want to get rid of it. We'll just put it next to it." But not everybody feels that way. And if you look at what's going on over there, if you watch videos and stuff, you know, as they continue to make a push to try to settle in that land, in that particular area of that land where that mosque is at, it causes a lot of fights, a lot of wars break out. I mean, people get hurt, and it's just a lot that goes on with it. I believe as of right now, the Jewish people, I think certain Jewish people can go over there for 1 hour and they can observe and pray and do whatever that they do over there. But and then they got to go back to the other side of the wall, which is known as the Wailing Wall. Okay. That's pretty much like a border that's set around where that mosque is at, where they want to put the third temple at. Okay. Now, for those of you who aren't aware, uh I think this was what 2018, Feast of Dedication 2018. They actually dedicated the altar for this temple. Okay. And then there's also information concerning the red heifer, and there's a bunch of other information out there that's going on with it as well. But I would say I would encourage you, and it'll behoove you to go and look this information up and just keep up to date with it. Okay. So once again, the link is in the chat. I didn't plan to hold you guys for too long. I just kind of wanted to share this information with you guys. I actually have some other prior engagements for the Sabbath today that I gotta attend to. So, but I'm willing to stay on if you guys want to have the conversation and we can discuss it. I can push that time back a little bit. But so if you guys want to come in, please feel free to do so. And we can dialogue and we can discuss this topic. We can go through some scriptures and see how the scriptures parallel with it, and so on and so on. But again, uh just wanted to bring this information to you guys just so that way it can just be made aware here for the listeners on Debate Talk for You that this is something that is going on, and it's been going on for quite some time, as far back as 1967 and perhaps even before then. Okay. Which is when they have been wanting, is how long they have been wanting to do this. Okay. And they've been making strides to try to make this happen. Okay. So we just need to be aware of what's going on over there. Okay. If nobody's gonna come in, then what I'll do is we'll just go ahead and get ready to shut it down. Again, I didn't plan to hold you guys for too long today. I kind of wanted this to be an open discussion for you guys to come on, and then we can kind of talk about some things and stuff like that. But if no one's gonna come on, then we'll just go ahead and get ready to shut it down. So I'll go ahead and give you guys some closing words. Um, just a couple of scriptures you guys want to check out. Definitely look at Revelation chapter 11. Definitely want to look at that, as well as Daniel 12, Daniel 11. So you want to look at some things concerning the prophecies with this Joel 2, Joel 3. You definitely want to just read through those and then just see what parallels you guys have with what these events that are going on with this Jewish state, then rebuilding the third temple, and trying to go forward with ushering in the what I believe is the anti-Messiah, but it is their Messiah. All right, that is why they want to push this forward, because they want to bring in this anti-Messiah. All right. So Ringo Storm is asking what temple? What temple? All right, so I'll go ahead and bring it back up real quick. Give me a second. Go ahead and bring it back up. Okay, so let me go back and share the article. All right, so the Jewish people they want to restore and build the third temple in Jerusalem, where the current Al Aqsa Mosque is. All right, and they have been trying to get this underway ever since the end of the 6 Day War. Okay, which dates all the way back to 1967. All right, so just to kind of help answer that question there. So that's what we've been talking about, and we've been discussing why these conflicts are going on, why the conflict happened with the Palestinians and the Israelis a few months back. Why all that's been going on, the whole situation with Donald Trump back when he was president, why he declared Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, and so on and so on. Okay, so we just been talking about all those things just to bring awareness to it here on Debate Talk for You Radio. Um, so I hope that answers your question. All right. So again, no one's gonna come on, gonna give you guys some closing words. Again, you guys can just check out those scriptures. He's asking, will it be built during the 7 year tribulation? Good question. Will it be built during the 7 year tribulation? When it comes to the timelines, in Revelation, it's kind of hard to say. It's it's kind of hard to say because of the fact that they they've already drawn up plans, and I know they've done some underground work already from what I've from some of the videos that I've seen. They've already done some underground work. They have they have the place set up for the Sanhedrin Council. Um when you also watch certain videos and stuff, they have like this big old pomegranate that's like underground. It's like a very it's a large gold pomegranate. Again, I wanted to play the video, but because I don't have all the disclaimers set up, so that way Debate Talk for You doesn't get flagged for copyright issues. I didn't want to go look for the video and then play it and then have to deal with copyright issues and stuff and getting strikes here on YouTube because YouTube is cracking down on this stuff hard. But you guys can try to go look this stuff up. Just type in Third Temple Jerusalem in Google, YouTube, or whatever search engine you're using, and a plethora of information will come up. Okay. From mainstream articles, as I've read, because that's what I try to do when I come on here on Debate Talk for You. I try to use mainstream um sources so that way it doesn't look like I'm just like pulling from some satirical website. I try to use mainstream sources. So we see mainstream sources uh such as Al Jazeera and so on and so on. They are actually documenting these things even on their uh on their portals. Okay. So he says, doesn't the Antichrist stand in the temple? Let me pull it up. It says, doesn't the Antichrist stand in the temple and in the middle of the 7 year tribulation after making a covenant? I'm not for certain. I will have to go and read that. Um I know that during that 7 years, let's go pull it up. Let's just go pull it up. All right, give me a second here, you guys. Let's just go pull it up. I believe what you are talking about is in Revelation 13. I want to say it's Revelation 13 is what you are referring to. Um, so we'll just read through it and see what comes up. And then I gotta plug this laptop in. Give me a second, guys. Hold on. All right, I'm gonna just plug in this laptop. Give me a second. All right, and we are back. Okay, so let's see what we got here. All right, so let me drag this over here and then what we'll do is we'll just pull up these scriptures, pull up this Bible here, and let's. Oh, I closed it out. Give me a second. Let me open it back up. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and read through that. Revelation. All right, so this is what we do. We'll just pull it up on here, so I won't have to open it back up. All right, so we'll just go to. We'll do. Just use Bible Hub today. Really, I normally don't like pulling these up unless I absolutely need to. But we'll go ahead and pull them up today. So Revelation, I believe you were talking about Revelation 13 concerning the 7 years. So all right, so Revelation 13. And then we'll read from King James Version. All right. All right, so it says, so I believe you are concerning all right, so let's start from verse 1. It says, then I stood on the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rising up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his horns 10 crowns. On his heads a blasphemous name. Now, this is from the New King James Version. It says, "Now the beast which I saw was like a leopard. His feet were like the feet of a bear, and his mouth like the mouth of a lion. The dragon gave him his power, his throne, and his great authority. And I saw one of his heads as if it had been mortally wounded, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world marveled and followed the beast. So they worshiped the dragon who gave authority to the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, 'Who is like the beast? Who is able to make war with him?' And he was given a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemies, and he was given authority to continue 40 and 2 months. Then he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name, um, his tabernacle, and those who dwell in heaven. It was granted to him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And authority was given over him. And authority was given him over every tribe, tongue, and nation. All who dwell on the earth will worship him, whose names have not been written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. Okay. All right. So I'll stop there for a second. So concerning, because you brought up the 7 years. So the 40 and 2 months is at least dealing with at least 3.5 of those years. Okay. Um, so for at least 3.5 of those years, uh yeah, you definitely see the anti-messiah actually being in rulership for at least 3.5 of those years, explained there for 40 and 2 months. Okay. Now, as far as the full 7 year tribulation, that is actually something that's going to have to be taught as a separate lesson. I'm going to have to come back on and do most high willing. Okay. If the spirit allows me to do so. All right. So I just want to say shalom to Gary Curtis. Shalom, 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 Shabbat shalom. Thank you for tuning in. Okay. So yeah, again, we'll have to come back and revisit that, because that then unpacks a whole lot. Okay. But again, the link is in the chat. If you guys want to come on and talk about it, we can definitely come on and talk about it and how this relates to, what's going on now. And then we can just dialogue about it. But I don't have all the information in front of me to really go scripture for scripture, because again, that's a meaty, heavy topic. And you probably can't teach that lesson. You probably can't even teach that in 30 minutes to an hour. It's gonna take some real time. I more so just wanted to bring awareness to what's actually to some current events. It's been a while since I did some current events on here. So I just kind of wanted to bring this up. So that way people can be made aware of what's going on. They can just look into it and just kind of be up to date. We often get on Debate Talk for You, and we debate about a lot of different stuff, the law and calendar who is Israel? We salvation. We often debate these things. We still it'll behoove us to still be up to date with what's going on in the current events. All right. So well, that's it, you guys. That's all I have. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. We can definitely come back and do a part 2 to this. You guys can reach out to me, then we can make that happen. Make sure you guys check out all the other content here on Debate Talk for You, and stay up to date with the information. Most high willing, Debate Talk for You will probably do a summer special. I'm gonna bring it up, so y'all stay tuned. There might be one. There might be a summer special. Okay. So y'all just check back. Also, debatetalkforyou.com is coming. It is coming. It is coming. So make sure y'all stay up to date on that as well. And may Yahweh keep you and watch over you all over always. I bid you all a farewell. I am Gabbar Allah. This is the Sabbath Meal, episode 20. Shabbat Shalom.